After Jim Benning had a very interesting few weeks. And as we do that, we want to point out the following is a depth chart. So we're not actually projecting the line combos or D pairings. Pulley, let's begin with you. Is this team better, worse, or the same as last year's edition?
I don't think they will be as good as last year's edition initially, Gino. I don't think they can be. I think you lose a player of Jacob Markstrom's quality, one of the top goaltenders in the National Hockey League. They were so dependent on him last year. And yes, Thatcher Demko imposed himself, and I think they've put a nice combination together with Braden Holtby. Longer term, that could work. Short term, it's a big loss. Chris Tanev on the backside, so important to the development of Quinn Hughes. And Tyler Toffoli, who's just a great pickup and seemed to fit in so well. Troy Stetcher's another one, Gino, they'll be missing. I don't think you can lose that many players from a team that was as close as that group was and be as good. Now, initially, as I said, I think they will take a step back.
Pulley, the big question mark for me was in net because when you lose Jacob Markstrom, as you just pointed out, you're looking for a soft landing. Well, they found it in Braden Holtby. And the challenge is not to do exactly what Jacob Markstrom did as one, but you can do it as a tandem. And that's going to have and open the door for a guy like Thatcher Demko to take another step as a starter in the National Hockey League. And Braden Holtby has something to prove here. He hasn't played great hockey in the last 18 months. It's a value contract for him. It's a short-term contract. So I think those two are going to be able to give you a softer landing from Jacob Markstrom, and that's where the Vancouver Canucks can look all right on paper.
All right, so that's what Dave and Jamie think, but what do you, the viewers, think? We asked you that very question in preparation for today's show, and according to you, 60% of you think the Canucks are actually worse, while only 17% say they're better. All right, Pulley, what's next for Benning?
Well, I think it's patience right now, Gino. I think he waits until a wave happens, maybe 20 games into whatever the next season looks like. And I think he looks internally. He looks at Adam Gaudette, former Hobey Baker winner out of Northeastern, a fifth-round draft pick. He's a really intriguing player. Jack Rathbone out of Harvard, he spent a couple of years there, fourth-round pick, puck-moving, cerebral player. And Ole Juolevi. I think he just has to worry about what he is and not on what he isn't. He's not Matthew Tkachuk or other guys that were passed up in the draft, who Sergachev was another player who was passed up in the draft. Just beat Ole Juolevi. He now has developed in London. He went back to Finland. He's been in Utica. It's time for him to settle in and be an NHL player. I think they look internally. Brogan Rafferty is another name you'll hear on defense. And then be patient, see what happens with those three players, and go from there.
And if Jimmy Benning had an actual wish list, it would be that Louis Eriksson's contract would go away. I mean, at $6 million this up-and-coming season and the following season, he might look to try and package that somewhere. And I know the National Hockey League is very tied down as far as financially, and there's not a lot of teams that are looking to take on a deal of that magnitude. But if you're looking for cap flexibility, it's getting rid of Louis Eriksson's contract. He's just not living up to the value of that deal. And that's something moving forward Jimmy Benning has to deal with sooner than later.
That's a big contract they'd love to be spending elsewhere. All right, you, your fans, had the Twitter say all week. So let's bring it all together. Recapping your poll results. You think 5 of the 7 Canadian teams improved this offseason. The Jets are the only team that you feel remained the same. And you say the Canucks are the only team you think got worse. Who knows? Maybe they'll all be playing in the same division